Okay, so we're going to talk quickly about how you can make changes to your training to constantly keep challenging yourself and make sure you're keeping progressing, okay? So this is like kind of, if you're in the middle of a session and you're going, this is a little bit easy today, how can I change this up? That you can add in some quick changes there and then you can let us know and we can help you then as well, all right? So well, first thing is to look at tempo, okay? So there's generally 4 parts of a repetition, all right? There's generally a lowering phase, there's generally then a pause, then there's a lifting phase, and then there's another pause in between your reps, all right? Yeah, on the app, you will see something like this, so EPCP, essentially it's eccentric pause, concentric pause, all right? So you don't really need to know that, just generally know that the first letter is the lowering of the weight, okay? So whatever weight you're lifting, wherever the weight is, if it's lowering, that's the first number. The second number then is the pause at the end of that lowering phase. So just take, for example, in a squat, if you lower yourself, once you get to your lowest point, you pause there. And then the C is concentric, it's when you lift, so you're gonna stand back up again. And then the last one then is the pause in between each rep, okay? So that's what they mean. And then the numbers are basically in seconds. So in this example, in a squat, you would lower yourself for 3 seconds, so it'd be 3, 2, 1, and so on, going down. You would have a 0-second pause at the bottom. You would try and push back up for 1 second, so it's a nice strong push back up. And then there would be 0 pause in between each rep, so you're just straight back down again, okay? So just with different exercises, it can be a little bit confusing, but just think about the actual weight that you're lifting. If the weight is lowering, that's the first number, the pause at the bottom. The third number then is the lifting of the weight. And then the last number then is the pause in between each rep, okay? So that's tempo. When we add in tempos, whenever you start to kind of slow down reps and stuff like that, it's a way to add increased tension in the muscle and it will make the exercise way more difficult, okay? So that's a great way straight away to just slow down the reps that you're doing. The next thing then, if you have access to weights, is increase the weight. So fair to say, if I do a bodyweight squat, if I have no weights here and I just do a squat, or if I have a 15 kilo dumbbell or kettlebell and I hold this, I'm going to be 15 kilos heavier and it's going to make it more difficult. So that's the next thing, straight away. The other thing that you could do is increase your repetitions, all right? So if you've got 10 reps, for example, and 10 reps is starting to become a little bit easy, you could either go 10 to 15 and try and aim for 15. And then, you know, if you've got 10 reps and 3 sets, for example, you can aim for 15, and then if you can only get 10 in the last set, then that's more reps that you've done as well. So that's another quick way that you could add things in, is just increase your reps a little bit. Just make sure you mark it down in the program so we can see. And then the last thing then is lower your rest periods. Actually, I'm going to add in another one, is add in another set. So lower your rest periods is the first one. I have a minute and a half rest for most of the programs. So look, just take it off, take a minute rest rather than a minute and a half, and so on. And then the last thing then you could do is add in another complete set. So you could do another round of everything. And that would be another way you could add in very quickly some changes into your training program to make it that little bit more difficult and keep you progressing.